I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are back with CyberPunk Edgerunners, Season 1, Episode 8. Last episode we got a little bit caught up with what David's been up to in the crew since the passing of Maine. David has definitely geared up a bit. You know, and he's kind of running the show right now for his group. Which is crazy. And we got a little bit of a meeting with Faraday as well. That scares me and doesn't bode well, I think, for the future of our cast.
There's a lot of things from last episode that don't, that could spell disaster. I mean, we got phrases from David like, I feel more comfortable in metal than my own skin. And just the whole idea that maybe some of the enhancements he has are possibly outdated or are tied to people who did go cyber psycho. There's a lot of things from last episode, Lucy and her ties that we got that have me feeling tense going into episode 8. Yeah,
I'm with you. I really enjoyed last episode, especially learning a little bit more about Lucy's past. That was super interesting to me. It leaves me with questions like, are we going to know what the lost knowledge, you know, they were looking for ever was? Are we going to learn more about Atom Smasher in the Fourth Corporate War? Or will David get the laser pop hip grind enhancement so he can dance with Becca better?
How is Becca gonna handle being friend-zoned?
Yeah, these are questions. Will we get answers? I don't know.
Maybe.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice composition there.
Yeah.
What the hell? How long have you been standing there?
My apologies, sir. My apologies. I ask only because I've plans for the evening. My son got into the academy. I wanted to surprise him. At this hour, they've all gone home. It's no problem, sir.
Fetch it, and then get out of my sight.
He's not there.
Director Evans,
No.
Oh no.
What happened in there? Connection was stable throughout.
Connection was stable throughout. Weird.
Man, oh man, that gig was a snap.
And it was like mirroring David and his mom, right? Imagine if somebody who was like teched out went cyber psycho and killed David's mom the night he got accepted into the academy.
And just to last episode when we got Ripper Doc being like, hey, are you sure you don't want to like switch these out or be less metal?
The scariest part about it to me is if that's truly what's going on, that he's going a little cyber psycho, he's like not communicating it. And it seemed like he was aware enough to like be kind of grieving in the moment.
And it's like, it's just like how Maine went out.
Yeah.
Maine was not able to deal with people being like, dude, something's happening to you. And he was like on the defense about it. He was like in denial.
And like that's understandable, right? It's a lot to try to like come to terms with, but
losing yourself, you know, you don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
You're probably just going to keep telling yourself that you can handle it.
Did it look like he like smushed his head?
Yeah. Or just like a really good punch.
The lab's research is focused on Militech countermeasures.
The runner who killed Jamie and Marcus. I think it's related.
Evans' head was blown off. This was sloppy, violent.
Too dangerous, that one.
We know neither their motive nor intentions.
The dangerous Netrunner's Lucy, right?
Not your average rogue runner looking to make a name.
We're Arasaka counter intel. We never deal with average. But maybe we'll get lucky and see them merge.
Lucy and David merge.
Switch it up.
What if this fixer has ties to our runner? What's to stop them from selling information on the product to Militech?
All NC fixers are
There's Faraday.
They just need a push in the right direction. We'll remind them who their real masters are. They must be warned of what happens when they bite the hand that feeds.
And just how will we do this?
We tell them in the only language this city speaks.
Violence.
Look out!
Damn, how'd he get out of there?
Faraday's impressive.
Yeah.
They clearly view the cyberskeleton as a market game changer, worthy of their utmost vigilance.
Cyberskeleton.
You ask too much.
David?
Did I wake you?
Can't sleep?
Only 250K to the moon? Cheaper than I thought.
You remembered.
Rundown diner meetup with the counter intel of the world's greatest megacorp.
As for the Tanaka mess, consider your debt settled.
Now I'm listening.
I would need to add a few conditions.
Go on.
We must eliminate any and all persons aware of the cyberskeleton's existence.
Done.
A meddlesome netrunner. They have been interfering with our data recovery efforts regarding the cyberskeleton.
Interesting. You think that's what Lucy saw?
An inside job.
Impossible. No one in
Inside
the
job?
subnet moves internally without leaving breadcrumbs. Though skilled, our bounty is most likely non-corporate, an edgerunner. A perfect job for a fixer. A cool million for bringing the runner in alive. Half of that for just their head.
Damn.
We have a deal.
Wants you back ASAP. So obvious.
Love the dialogue.
Yeah, I know. Still a no-go? No, not yet. Fucking mysterious. Even for you. God, do we need David's handler back? That bad, huh?
Oh no.
Got you.
Jesus.
Oh! Becca.
Fuck was that?
My bad.
Well, damn. Looks like an after party for two.
Actually, need you to drop me somewhere, too.
Glad Kiwi's okay.
Yo, David!
Faraday might be setting up a trap.
No after party today?
Wanna take a walk?
Huh? Sure.
She's making her move.
Nova!
Froze up is all.
Been freezing up a lot lately. Think I don't notice? You know, ain't no one I watch as close as I watch you. I put my life in your hands daily.
I know. Is that right?
I'm being serious right now. Remember the alley psycho Zero and my bro? I can't see you end up like him.
Yeah.
The editing there of switching to eyes. Yeah. Was that his mom?
It looked like it.
You're right then. He even recognizes the comparison.
Mm-hmm. Is it showing us what happened?
Oh, it's like he's re-seeing it. Oh! The spurting. It's like a dream.
With someone! On you! Right on you! Get out. Talk to me. Talk, David, talk.
Handled it.
You did? Cool, good.
Leaving. On my way.
Ripper Doc?
Morning, cupcake.
Intervention?
Symptoms that's an appetite.
This music.
Yeah.
Shaky hands, dizziness, nausea. Usual suspects.
A little while ago.
Seeing things that aren't there? Hallucinations?
All this crumbs catching up with you, Davey. I mean, shit still blows my mind you kept it together this long. Either you ain't hearing me, Chum, or you're already off the deep end. Asking for miracle drugs and pixie dust.
Come here for your golf jokes. Just take my fucking money. And give me my fucking rent!
David!
Your last creep. 9 times standard.
Jesus Christ.
And straight into hell.
It's like he's just giving him
Sorry, Doc.
his bag and be like, okay, bye.
Not like you're ever coming back here anyway. Just yesterday, a punk
It's a
kid pushed
goodbye.
XBDs for a quick buck. Not a tale for the next dreamer.
David, wait! Hey!
Because of Maine and my mom, both had plans for me, left me things to do.
Honestly believe that? Really think you're special?
Handled the Sandy, didn't I? Definitely ain't normal. I killed someone.
Huh?
Reminded me of my mom. She was a bystander, a normal person. Who knows how many thugs I've killed? I lost count. Grew numb to it. Maybe I really am losing it.
It's a good shot.
You're not.
You just don't get it. When Maine died, didn't expect you'd leave us too.
I had to.
You deserve a way out of this life.
David, no. I'm not trying to.
That mean you'll come back? You and me again. Turn back the clock. Just say it.
Can't.
'Cause you don't trust me? Maybe we should, you know, go our separate ways.
Oh, wait! That's not what I want! I gotta go.
Huh? Go where?
I really need to.
Sure.
We'll talk when I get home. But please, wait for me.
It's a trap.
Same runner as before. There you are.
So simple. And here I expected fireworks. Looks like we just landed our ticket to Arasaka. Magnificent work, Kiwi.
Okay, that was CyberPunk Edgerunners, Season 1, Episode 8. Look, I have a lot of, mixed emotions because there were a lot of things that made me very unhappy in terms of, I love these characters and want everybody to be happy. But that was, so that on one hand is sad, but I loved this episode. This is one of my favorite episodes in terms of, pacing, storytelling. I love the shots they used. It was really creative. The voice acting was great.
I'm not necessarily used to this feeling that I have watching this show of knowing you're walking such a fine line and kind of knowing that there's an inevitable almost of some really sad, dark, destructive path. And I don't think I've ever really watched anything where it's like, hey, here's the path that goes bad. It's not like the ending of the story goes up, but it seems like the inevitable is it goes down. I've never really watched anything that had that.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't supposed to be a happy ending necessarily, or that whole time you're watching, you feel this almost tense breakdown of someone.
I think that where this differs, where this chooses a different path, is when David's told that he's special. What I'm used to is him being not just higher tolerance special. What I'm used to is him being special. And that's not what the story is.
The fated person. The person, the legend.
And it seems like we're getting further and further and further confirmation, unless something drastically changes, that is not what's going on here, and that's not what's being told to us. That's not the story they're telling. It's just this unfortunate, endless cycle that takes everyone.
And he's just fueling himself. He's justifying his actions. He's justifying staying this way, even though he recognizes it and is able to even now say it to people out loud that it's happening and he's experiencing it. But he's able to justify it to himself and convince himself because he's just reminding himself of all of the times that he or other people have said that he's special.
And he's saying that he's doing these things because they're like incomplete missions, right? That his mom gave him and Maine
These
gave
dreams.
him. Yeah.
And Lucy was saying that they were someone else's dream.
Yeah. And it's sad. Because I think that, like, I love David, and I think that he comes from a good place, right? And his heart was in a good place. But when you're losing yourself like this, like, all you're going to do is bring destruction and death to those around you. I am terrified now for Becca, for Kiwi, and for Lucy, and for David.
We have a character that's putting too much, giving over too much power to something else. To this idea that he is special. He's giving too much power to that. He's giving too much power to the dreams of those that are deceased. And he's completely forgetting the dreams that he had originally wanted to be a part of and had started to cultivate for himself, which was Lucy and the moon. And we even, in this episode, he finds out, oh, that's so cheap for that one-way ticket to the moon.
Yeah.
It's so purposeful to have him talk about a dream, but not talk about it in the way of, hey, Lucy, let's go to the moon.
Yeah.
Which is what David in the first couple episodes would have been like, oh, yeah, let's save that money and get our one-way tickets to the moon.
From a narrative, I am worried that David's plan is, it doesn't matter if I die, I'm going to get as much money as I need saved for Lucy.
He says to her at the end here that she deserves to get out of this.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's like he's decided, he's taken it upon himself to make his mom's dreams come true or live up to a good standard or something for his mom, for Maine, and for Lucy. That he's sacrificing himself for these three people when, you know, Lucy isn't asking him to do that. And so he's definitely like, his priorities are a little screwed up.
Yep.
He's not actually, I think, because of the fact that he's seeing things and hallucinating, I think it could lend to the fact that he is maybe even making up these kind of like internal decisions of, oh, this is what needs to be done and this is what Lucy would really want, and I'm gonna do this thing for her even if she hasn't asked for it, or I'm gonna do this thing for these two people that have passed because that's what they would want me to do. Like, no, they're dead. If you could talk to them again, they'd probably be like, no, dude, don't follow down my path, live your life and be happy.
It's like it's a good story though. If I'm like, it's like upsetting in one sense because I want just happiness, right? But I'm like, man, it's like a ballsy story to tell.
I wrote down some kind of words that I liked because I think it fit where the story's going. Sloppy and violent.
Yep.
And then we got a really great line that was violence. I'm putting violence. I'm inserting the word violence. The only language this city speaks. Or death. Violence or death. The only language this city speaks.
It's interesting because there's like the self-awareness of what it's going to inevitably bring, but you are still part of the cycle. It's so interesting, right? Like you're able to be like introspective enough to know what this city's about, and probably if you think about it long enough, you'd understand that you're just another, like, you're in the cog, right? But
we're just used to that actually special protagonist.
Yeah.
That kid, that wonder kid that could actually, you know, has more than just more of a tolerance, is special.
I love, you know, the scene when they were recounting, like, what David actually did, and he was, like, seeing what he saw, like, seeing the guns and stuff come out of the people. God, man, what, like, it's heartbreaking. And then the music that they used to play too, like, was so interesting. I don't think we've heard that song before in the show, but like, I feel awful for the lady who just wanted to go home early, or go home not even, like, she was overtime, right? And she just wanted to go home, and then right before David collapses, before going to Ripperdoc, he's having those remembering about the picture and about what he did, and he's crying, and then he collapses. Yep. I really like the conversation in between Kiwi and Lucy, like on the phone. The dialogue and way of communicating is really interesting. The voice acting was great.
They made it seem not weird.
Yeah.
Because if I just read it, I'd be like, why are they talking like that?
Yeah, it felt like a natural phone call, like a real phone call. I get why. It's a lot of money. That's what this world is. But I love Kiwi, and I hate that she like betrayed Lucy, you know? Even though I'm sure she's going to get paid a lot of money for it. It's $1 million if you bring them in alive, you know?
Is it necessarily betrayal? Because if Faraday, you know, maybe Kiwi being involved, it is a get her in alive.
Oh, maybe.
Because there was but if you just bring us her head, that's fine too.
You promised you'd spare her type.
Yeah, there could be something of Kiwi is involved in order to ensure that, like, if you were aware of a plan and the subject of that plan was to kidnap someone you cared about, and someone was asking you to come along with it, and you knew that they had a lot of money and a lot of resources and probably a lot of other people, you know, that they could ask to help with this. You might want to get involved just so you can ensure that the best outcome possible could happen.
You're right.
And also, you'd be an inside. So that means if you, like, were a double agent, you could be like, okay, now we have Lucy and Faraday believes me. And
I can totally see that. I still think Faraday has a chance of screwing over Kiwi.
Yeah.
You know?
Or that Kiwi isn't 100% innocent in this. Does Kiwi... We get this phone call where she's, like, seems like she cares about Lucy and wants Lucy back, but is that really real and sincere? I don't know.
I want to see the cyber skeleton in action. The project.
The project?
Yeah. It's cool. I can't believe David's at a point where he's like, the whole conversation with Ripperdoc, and it's like 9 times stronger, 9 days. That's like a death sentence.
He really was just packing his bags, and he was like, okay, I'm never going to see you again. Here's some extra meds. And it was like, in a way, almost endearing of Ripperdoc in that, like, that was Ripperdoc showing, like, I actually care about this kid.
Yeah.
But he's like, I know that I'm not going to be able to talk him out of it.
It's just going to be another tale. Like,
it's just another, just another story. There's going to be another dreamer.
Becca's my favorite character now. I love Lucy a lot, but, like, Becca's interaction with David this episode, I got kind of emotional towards the end because I loved what Becca was saying and how she brought up her brother. And she made great points in the like, she puts her life in David's hands on the daily. And I got kind of emotional because I think Becca's the character I'm worried about the most right now in terms of living and dying.
I'm going to kind of latch onto that. I don't like that, but I like that you thought of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know why necessarily we were getting a mention last episode of the idea that Becca has a crush on David or likes David, but it felt really good this episode because it wasn't just about Becca, you know, trying to win David over or like, no, you should be with me instead, which is kind of the energy she had the episode prior. Like, I'm going to convince him, you know, that I'm better. But this was like, there was something really genuine. Like, I watch you more than anyone else. Like, I am seeing these things. And not only do I put my life in your hands, but like, there was like a care that was a non-confession, a non-romantic, like, hey, I really want to be with you. It was like, I care about you as like a person.
And non-transactional either. Like, not just for like the job. It felt like care. And like the last episode, there was the term crew chemistry. Like they are a family in a sense. And I think that Becca, like, okay, if it was just like business and you didn't care about the other person in your group, you would not tell them to go backwards and like and revert in terms of gear and tech, right? Because you try to get as much out of them as you could and not really care about them.
Right.
But it takes a lot of care and love to be like, no, you should do this. It's hard for me to say. It's hard for you to hear. But this is what you should do, and I'll still be around.
We can think back to how Dorio tried to handle Maine.
Yep.
Like, there was a definite, like, delicacy to... Dorio tried to be as delicate as possible because it was hard to say. Mm-hmm. And obviously, things didn't go amazingly. But I think that this episode, you're right to say that maybe that is foreshadowing that Becca could be the one at risk here with bringing up that she is the one on the missions with David.
I think she's one of many at risk, you know?
Yes, but it's also like, what were we getting this episode? Just a whole bunch of like goodbyes. Look at, we are all the characters that care about David, and this is us basically like saying our last words to him, our last attempt at saving him.
Yep. I mean, I'm scared that this is it, right? This is the ramp up that David's going to somehow learn about this, and that those 9 days worth of meds are going to be used in quick succession because he's going to be exerting himself to whatever is necessary to be able to save Lucy. You know?
Yeah, is this a suicide mission? Like, is this like he's going to go in there and this is that what the show is doing? Is that like the plot? Like, I'm still so thrown off by the fact that it feels like inevitable doom.
It's different, yeah.
That I feel like I should be, oh, no, there's no way they're going to end a story with David dying. But then I'm like, maybe they actually are.
It's not something I'm used to, but if it goes that route, like, shit. Like that's crazy. I don't know.
I think I'll appreciate it for being different and not just kind of making everything seem like, oh yeah, everything's good now, don't worry by the end of it, because that doesn't seem like that's what the story's trying to tell us.
I agree, but every episode I start with season 1. I want there to be a season 2 of this show, and
oh yeah, how's there gonna be a season 2 if David dies?
If that's when they decide the story is gonna end and they just want to finish it with one season. On one hand, some of my favorite shows of all time have a set told story, a beginning and an end, and that's why they're that good. But it's also bittersweet because then you never get new material from it. And it's like, good I don't, because I don't want to, lessen the story that they gave me. But it's also like, oh, I do love watching new episodes of the show in this new world that are good,
I think I would appreciate that, like, it became a standalone art piece, if you will, as if it was just a cog in this giant cycle, this one little zoom in on this example of an edgerunner in the dangerous lifestyle.
Yeah.
In this city that's language is violence.
Mm-hmm. Good episode, though. One of my favorites.
Yep. It was good, I guess. Who knows about that ending, though?
Yeah, I know. Do you think, how do you think David's going to learn about Lucy being kidnapped, if he does?
Well, with Kiwi's involvement there at the end with Faraday, I'm like,
I can't believe David was like, maybe we should go our separate ways. Like, holy shit.
That shocked me.
Maybe he knows the inevitability of it and doesn't want to bring Lucy down with him. I don't know.
I think his priorities are just a little messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.